I had shifted to IV drug use. My mom hadn't yet. And the day finally came where there wasn't enough dope for me and her, for her to, snort and me to shoot.
Yeah.
She had to shoot it. And, she kind of looked at me and...
Just kind of understood.
I kind of looked at her and, you want me to? And I started to inject my mother with heroin.
Lou, what's up, bud?
How are you?
The tables have turned.
I'm scared.
The tables have turned.
I'm scared.
Don't make too much out of it because I'm not.
Well, I've done my fair share. I'm not gonna say a lot. I've done my fair share of podcasts.
Yeah.
But having you interview me is slightly terrifying.
Well, I just like to ask the hard-hitting questions, like the ones that aren't like so.
Right. The uncomfortable ones.
Yeah, the uncomfortable ones. I think that's good TV, right?
Of course.
So, yeah, we're, to explain what we're doing, right? We have a podcast.
We do.
Sit and interview people. But who are we?
Who are we?
Who are Aaron and Louis? And I'll be honest, Lou, I've known you for almost 10 years, and I only know you from really, I don't really know much about you. I know the gist. I've seen your lead.
Yeah, I mean, I play certain cards close to the chest. I think most people would agree with the statement you just made.
Yeah.
Which is odd because I'm also very vocal about things in my life that were fucking not normal and fucked up.
Good.
So maybe I can shed some more light for you today.
I can't wait. Can't wait to get to know you.
And, as we all know, and as you call me Grandview Lou.
Grandview Lou.
I grew up in Grandview Heights, Ohio, which is the epitome of white picket fence fucking suburbia. So my mother was alcoholic. She passed away from an overdose. We'll get into that later. Her mother suffered from severe mental health. She committed suicide.
Oh, boy.
And my mother found her.
How'd she do it?
She shot herself.
Jesus criminy, that's...
So she shot herself, and then I think mom was 11, and tried to go into her bedroom, and her body was blocking the door. So my mom from a very young age,
from early on, was
and again these are my genes too. So we're talking multiple generations of fucking terrible genes, right?
Yeah.
Suicide, alcoholism, my mom, her traumatic events.
On paper, you're fucked all the way around.
I'm totally fucked.
Your family tree has got a rope hanging from it.
And the way I describe it, there's my dad's side. My grandparents on my dad's side were fantastic, did everything right. My dad did everything right. Was an alcoholic, no mental health issues, nothing like that, and thank God for him. Because I feel, in my mind, if I don't have that engine of my dad, I'm toast.
He's like your glimmer of hope in all of this.
Yeah. So, thank God I have his genes as well. Growing up was very, very fucking normal. As a kid, I didn't know that my mom was alcoholic or anything, and there wasn't booze in the house. Nothing like that. I went to school. Everything was good, fucking football, baseball, soccer, all the shit that fucking privileged kids get to do. And
I didn't even know that. I didn't know you dabbled in the sports game.
Yeah. I mean, I played baseball. I fucking hated baseball. I was scared to get hit by the ball.
Yeah.
So secretly, I'm a pussy. Dude, I had a really fucking good childhood, and I grew up in a really good neighborhood. I always talk about DARE. I know you remember DARE.
Oh, yeah.
And I talk about DARE because it's an important part of my story, because what I took away from DARE was that, if I abused alcohol or used drugs, the next day my life would burn to the ground.
Yeah.
That was the impression that I got. If I smoke the fucking devil's lettuce...
You're done.
I'm toast.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to jail. It's over. And as a fifth grader, that's scary and real. And I carried that with me all the way to high school. The first time I had a drink or a drug was my sophomore year. I went to a party at a girl's house who I was hoping to date, which I did date eventually.
Okay.
And I drank some beers and I smoked some weed, and it was fucking awesome.
Loved it, right?
I loved it. And I know you can relate to that. It changed my life. I felt cool. I felt popular. I could talk to women. I was funny. All of the things that I wanted to be, I was.
What's your genre in high school? You a skater kid? You the punk?
I think that's the problem. I didn't know.
You didn't even have a spot.
I mean, I was kind of like a computer nerd.
Okay.
Like a growing, like I really like, I built like PC fucking, and I would like spend, yeah.
Preppy, okay.
Yeah, I was preppy. Yeah, like fucking Abercrombie, Hollister. Like we had money. You know what I mean? But like behind the scenes, I was like playing World of Warcraft and Counter-Strike for like 8 hours straight.
At home in your bedroom.
Yeah, like stacking Mountain Dew cans on my fucking desk and shit. And like that was me as a child until I went to that party. And when I went to that party and I felt what that was like, yeah, I wasn't off to the races because I wanted to be careful. I didn't want to like destroy my life, but certainly I wanted to indulge more often. So I would do it like once a month, right? I'd go to a party, I'd drink. By junior year, I was drinking, I'd say every weekend. Introduced to Adderall, which is always fantastic. The first time I was given an Adderall was in the cafeteria of my high school, and my best friend at the time, his name was Eric, came up to me. He goes, "Here, take this," and he didn't tell me what it was. And I was like, I was like, "What the fuck is it? What am I taking?" He's like, "Just take it." And I said, "Okay, all right, great, yeah, I'll take it. Whatever, I don't fucking care." He's like, "You'll like it, okay." So I took it, and it helped me focus and study and all that fucking bullshit that we tell ourselves, right? Like, I'm so much fucking smarter now. A couple of Vicodin here and there. No, like blow or
nothing hardcore.
Nothing hardcore, yeah, because like I just wasn't in that environment, you know? I was fortunate for that, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. I still ended up, fucking.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like kids used to like just bring that. I remember in my school, like they would once a week, people would just bring their parents' prescriptions in, and same thing. It's like, here, you take this, I'll take this, and we didn't know what the fuck we were taking, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah. And dude, after I took that Adderall, like this is the way my brain works. I was like, all right, I'm gonna find the nerdiest kid possible who doesn't know what he has. I knew he had Adderall. And I'm going to make him feel cool, and I'm going to buy the fucking prescription off him so I can sell it and keep some for my... Like, that's the type of shit I would do.
And that's high school.
Yeah. So, like, I'm thinking like that, like, let me find the weird kid, make him feel cool, groom him so I can get what I want. And I was doing that at a young age. I was good at it. I've always been good at it. Senior year, all bets were fucking off. I'm smoking weed every single fucking day. We had open lunch at Grandview. We'd go out. We'd rip shots. We'd fucking smoke weed. I'm getting into psychedelics, taking mushrooms on the weekends, acid. Basically, if you had it, I was going to put it in my body, but I wasn't going to touch like cocaine, crack, heroin, the big ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had absolutely no consequences up to this point. Honestly, this part of my story is not that fucking exciting.
So your parents, like, do they notice anything's going on at the time?
I get asked this all the time, and like, my dad wasn't stupid, but I think he was so old school that he was just like this, kids party.
Kids
like,
do,
I got caught one night my junior year. I came home drunk for the first time. And I woke up the next day, and he was the dad that was like, "How you feel?"
Oh, man.
Not good.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm hungover, Dad. This sucks. Yeah, remember that feeling? Thinking that like I would, and not do it again.
Enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd like take it easy, but he didn't know that I was susceptible to fucking alcohol. I don't think he truly ever understood the disease of addiction. When it came time to graduate high school, I had to make a decision. The thing about Grandview is a lot of the kids were very smart. I wasn't dumb, but I wasn't like a genius. And it was pressure, dude. It was like expectations and pressure that you go to college, you get a degree, you fucking have a family and a house and blah, 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 blah. And that's all I knew, dude, was like fucking kids with 4.0 GPAs and fucking $1 million houses and like all this shit. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I couldn't envision getting there, right? Like how the fuck am I going to get to that place? So I applied at one school. I applied at Ohio University, which is known for their Halloween party.
Athens, baby.
Athens, Ohio. And that's not the only reason I applied. I say that a lot. But that was the main reason. The second reason I applied is because I knew that there were other kids that I was friends with going to that school, and I didn't want to be uncomfortable and have to meet new people.
Yeah, that's always the worst,
That's
right?
the fucking truth.
Be the weird new guy?
Yeah. I had started selling drugs my senior year, which was a lot of fun.
What are you selling?
Weed, mostly weed, but then it started to be like I'd go and he'd give me like a sheet of acid or like an ounce of mushrooms or like what else? Fucking
So just some miscellaneous.
like it was just random shit. It was just like whatever the fuck I could get, I would sell, and it wasn't hard because kids had money. Like my dad would give me fucking $5 or $10 a day for lunch.
Damn.
So if you save that for
Yo,
5 days,
that's a week's.
That's an eighth.
Yeah.
And then if your two buddies do that, now you've got an eighth, a bottle, and you know what I mean?
That's
like,
a good weekend.
Yeah, that's how we lived in Grandview. That's what it was like. It wasn't hard. I didn't have to fucking go in the corner and sell crack at 15. I just took the money from my dad and went and bought my shit. The summer between my senior year of high school and my freshman year of college, I mentioned I was selling drugs, and I went to re-up, and this was 2009, and he asked me if I could move pills, painkillers.
Okay.
And I had like taken some Vicodins before, and I didn't really know much about them, and he gave me these like big green pills, and they were Oxycontin 80s. Oof. And
I just got a boner, I think.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry.
I mean, they're people who have done them understand they're like the holy grail.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
That's a far cry from Vicodins, right?
Yeah,
Like...
yeah. But as a kid, like, I didn't really, I just didn't understand. I remember like one time my girlfriend's mom caught me like on Google searching up like pills. You know what I mean?
Like the pill
and
identifier,
she
or
like,
just, like...
yeah, like trying to figure out like the Xanax. And she like confronted me and was like, "Hey, you shouldn't get into that." And I was like, I'd like blow people off. So I get these pills and I start selling them. And, you know, naturally I have to try them, and I tried
the 80s.
The 80s.
What are they going for at that point in time? Like, what's the...
So in 2009, I would get them for between like $40 and $45,
and then sell them for 80.
And then sell them, yeah, like it depended on who you were. So like if I didn't like, and there's Bruno can attest to this. I did this shit. If I didn't like you, I would intentionally either raise the price or not sell to you. Like I would make you go around, like send someone else in that I liked to get shit from me. I did it all. I was such a fucking asshole. Like I was.
Well, it just like smells like smart business too.
Yeah, I mean, but like there was times I wanted to prove a point. I mean, you know me.
Yeah.
Like.
He's a spiteful little.
I have my moments.
Yeah, he's a spiteful. Guy.
And you know that lived on when I was a fucking kid. I'd do the same shit. But you know, these pills, right? I fucking tried these pills, and I loved them. There was no hangover. It felt fucking amazing. I could, like, function. So I, like, for a while there, I just moved to the Oxycontin. Like, I would smoke a little weed, but I stopped drinking, and I would, like, frown upon drinkers.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you guys are fucking...
losers.
Yeah, like, you're getting all crazy. You black out. Like, I just do a pill, and I'm straight. Like... Who's really worse here?
And did you do a whole pill? Like, because 80 is a lot, right? Like,
I started with like 20 milligrams. I'd use like the hose clamp.
Oh, yeah,
I'd take the coating off and then
yep.
hose clamp it down.
Yep.
So you had like 4 20 milligram lines in one pill. And then it went to like 30 milligram lines and then like 40 milligram lines, right? And then all of a sudden you're at fucking 280s a day. I didn't get much higher than that. But when I got down to OU, dude, like... I was uncomfortable, and I knew I couldn't do it. I mean, that was really it. There wasn't much more behind it. I think subconsciously I wanted to come back to Columbus where I was the man. Or at least I felt like I was the man. I wasn't really the man.
They knew you down here.
But they knew me down here, and I felt like the man. And when your phone rings, bro, and people are calling you for drugs, it feels good.
Yeah, you're wanted.
I like to be wanted and needed. And so I lasted 2 quarters at OU, and I dropped out, and I came back to Columbus. And I moved in with my girlfriend, and my plan was to sell drugs and work. You know, and I got a job at a burger place. And the whole thought process behind that was to get my dad off my back. Like, hey, Dad, I'm not going to school, but I'm working.
Yeah, what'd your parents do when you tell them, like, hey, I'm dropping out of school?
So I lied to him. I told him I was going to go to Columbus State and transfer to OSU. And then, of course, when I got back and moved in with my girlfriend, I was like, I don't think school's for me, guys.
Yeah, I'm not,
you know?
It's not my cup of tea.
And they don't really know at this point how bad I've gotten. And I don't think I knew how bad I was at that point. I hadn't really suffered from withdrawals. I didn't really know what that was. I had the means to keep pills on me all the time. And, you know, it was cool, dude. It was sick for a while. I had this dope fucking condo on the quarry. It was like on a fucking lake. Like... And I would sell drugs out of it. It was a gated community. I lived there.
Okay.
It was awesome. And I lived there with my girlfriend, and we'd hang out, and we'd fucking trip, and we'd fucking do pills, and we'd do Molly, and we'd... Dude, it was...
So you're just living your best life
now.
Yeah,
Like it was everything I ever wanted. And around 2011, 2012, as you know, the Oxycontin train stopped.
Yeah.
And the heroin train started. And I was introduced to heroin. And I tell this story a lot, but I'll tell it again just because I think it's important. I was at work. I was flipping burgers. I was over the Flatiron Grill, and I finally learned what it meant to be dope sick. And you can imagine standing over a hot grill being dope sick doesn't
working
feel...
an 8-hour day is not...
It's fucking hell is what it is, because the seconds feel like minutes when you're withdrawing. And, I was selling some drugs to some of my coworkers there, whatever. And this dude was like, well, I can get you, something to get you right, and it'll be free. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what? There's nothing to
and
talk about.
When does that ever come into, like, hey, I can get you some heroin?
I think that might have been, like, the only freebie I ever got. I had, like, stolen some shit from people in the past, but, like, that was the only time someone was like, here,
bud.
here's some free drugs. And, of course, once he gave me that bag and I got his number, I was calling him the next fucking day.
Oh, yeah. So how'd you do it? What kind of heroin we talking?
So it was powder. It was China White back
Whites.
then. Anybody who says that it's China White today is probably lying. It's fentanyl.
Yeah, it's fatty.
And so I snorted a line on the baby changing station in the bathroom, and I felt better, and it felt just like the pills. I locked myself in the bathroom, which probably wasn't the smartest thing, just in case I had overdosed, but...
So you didn't want anybody to come in and find you.
I just like locked myself in the bathroom. I was like, I'm just going to do heroin now.
Did you tell yourself, too, because I remember the first time I tried heroin was like, this ain't going to work, man.
I don't remember thinking anything. I don't remember, like, thoughts. I remember just, like, feeling sick, seeing it was powder, similar to, like, when I'd crush up Oxycontin.
Yeah.
And I knew it was heroin. I knew it was bad. But I just couldn't get past
Just
being
wanted to take
sick.
that edge off, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to feel better.
Because dope sick, what's it look like for you? Like,
I mean, dude, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It is the worst. And, of course, I always pull from, like, the times that I've been in jail dope sick. You're a target immediately. I mean, I'm already thin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember one of the times I got booked in, I was under 140 pounds.
Wow.
I'm 6'4".
yeah, so you're a tall guy.
So I'm, like, literally skin and bones. So when I walk, and I have, like, long hair and shit.
The old Johnny Depp era.
So you walk in, you're dope sick as fuck. You can't eat. You're puking. You're shitting yourself. Sometimes you're shitting in the shower.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one time. I know I'm way ahead of myself here, but I got to tell this story. I remember one time I got in the shower in jail, and I knew I had to shit, and I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to hop out and get on that toilet. So I shit in the shower, and I called it the Old Waffle Stomp. I stomped it down the drain with my foot.
Oh, yeah, with the flops.
With the flops. So I stomped my shit down the drain. And I remember I got out, and everyone was like, it smells like fucking shit in here. And I'm, like, terrified that I'm going to get my ass beat for shitting in the shower.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah, no,
don't
you don't
shit in the shower.
Don't shit in the shower,
Yeah.
ever. And I was, I made sure, obviously, it all got down the drain, so there was no evidence. But yeah, dude, like, those were some of the fucking experiences I had detoxing off of drugs in jail.
Fucking heroin.
And dude, after I picked that heroin up, I mean, the spiral was so fast. Like, I was able to maintain for so long, using pills or smoking weed or drinking and functioning. But, like, when I picked up heroin, dude, it was over. It was over quick. My girlfriend kicked me out.
So she's not doing shit of, like, hard drugs.
So, God bless her soul.
I
still love her as a person. I think I always will.
Okay.
I won't say her name just because I don't know how comfortable she would be with that.
Is this the one I know from back in the day?
Which one?
The one that dumped you at CBCF?
No.
No, okay.
No, not that one.
Okay.
No. But you can tell that story.
Yeah,
that's a really good story.
That's a good one.
But so what would happen is, like, we would do Molly and we would do acid and we would do mushrooms, and she knew I did pills, but she didn't really understand how serious the pills were either. And then when I switched to this, sounds fucking crazy, but I swear to God this is true. When I switched to the heroin, I started to get black tar eventually. And I used to put it in water and mud puddle it is what it's called. And I'd snort the water through a straw.
Yeah.
And that's how I'd get high. And I would tell my girlfriend, and I would tell her it was called Pudge.
Pudge.
And I told her that's what I was doing. and she didn't really ask questions, and I remember convincing her to do it.
So it's this like new drug that you've made up?
I didn't. I wasn't really interrogated. She loved me, dude. Like really would like die for me type shit. Like, so I don't think she really thought twice. I think she just thought I knew what I was doing.
All right, pudge.
You know, and I convinced her to do heroin without her knowing, and I had to fucking face her down years later and apologize for that. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's terrible,
like
man.
Trick a good person into doing heroin.
Yeah, it's one thing to ruin your life, but to bring and then not even tell her, like, hey.
Yeah, until later. So like that's the kind of things I was getting into when I started doing heroin. And you know, she kicked me out. I moved back home with mom and dad, 22, 23, which is a fucking terrible feeling.
What's your justification to them? Like,
I think at this point it was like, all right, Lou's struggling. You know what I mean?
Lou's having a hard
like
time
something's not right here. And mom kind of knew what I was doing. And when I moved back home, I had no friends. All my like close friends were like, "We're done with you, Louis. Like it's a wrap. We have lives, and we're gonna move on with them." And you know, so all I had left was really mom. And you know, I remember she used to get prescribed OxyContin, and one day I went to her and was like, "Hey, I can get some pills, or better yet, I can get some heroin, and it's cheaper. It's the same thing, Mom. Like da 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 da." And she agreed to get high with me.
So is your mom like a opiate addict at this point? Like, so she's prescribed them?
She was prescribed OxyContin, like a lot of OxyContin for years.
What was her?
Fibromyalgia.
Okay.
Which is one of those things that you can't really prove through like an MRI.
Yeah,
so you can go to the doctor and be like, "Oh, doc,
it's killing me.
It's killing me today." And then when my dad lost his job in like 2009, 2010, they lost the insurance. She lost her prescriptions.
Oh, man.
So I knew that she had the pain. And when I moved back home, it's like, "Mom, here, I can help you with your pain."
How do you have that conversation? Like, because like it's your mom, like, "Hey, I can get some heroin."
I think
Mom.
it was like a slow burn. I think it was like mom was the one I could trust and go to and be like, "Hey, Mom, I'm smoking weed now."
Yeah.
And you know, then the conversation would evolve, and then
you just see like where she's at.
Yeah,
like,
and then next thing you know, dude, like it was just me and her, and we would fucking do everything together. And when I say do everything together, I mean everything. Because she didn't trust me to go to the dope man and not pinch the sack.
As she should.
And and I didn't trust her.
God.
And this is my mother.
There's a fucking Mexican standoff of like
so like if I'm going to cop, she's coming.
Yeah.
And she's coming in. Like to the fucking trap.
Man.
I'd go down to Mount Vernon on the fucking corner, and like we'd be in the fucking Honda Odyssey in the minivan, me and mom.
Just going around.
Yeah, like that's the type of shit we did.
And then you guys go in the trap together, right? So what's that like?
Yeah, like we'd go in, we'd cop. She would like meet drug dealers and shit, and that it would just. I don't think it's as what's the word I'm looking for? The situation that I was in with my mother, I think it happens more often than people think.
Oh yeah,
with their parents, you know what I mean? And so I think like for some of these drug dealers, it just was like it's a junkie.
Yeah, it's a junkie and his junkie mom.
Yeah, no big
How'd
deal.
your mom? Is she not drinking anymore at this point? Because she's
no. I found out later on in my life from my dad that she used to like drink herself into like comas when I was a kid.
And
but
you never know. And again, like we're so
that's dad. Though.
self-absorbed.
That's
as
dad
kids,
also though, just like being great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
The hero.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, like me and mom are ripping and running, and eventually we sell the house in Grandview, and we move out to the west side. Prior to that happening, I hadn't been in any legal trouble. I didn't really. I know I've told stories of detoxing in jail, but chronologically in my story, I hadn't been in legal trouble yet. And I went to this fucking recovery meeting with this guy, and rest in peace. He's no longer with us. He's since overdosed and passed away. It's another Grandview kid. But he got me to this fucking meeting, and I listened to this guy tell his story, and I went up to him afterwards, and I thanked him, and I told him that I hadn't been in legal trouble. You know, I'd had a lot of the same issues he had, but I hadn't been arrested, and he looked at me, and he said, "Keep doing what you're doing, and it'll happen."
It'll come.
And I always tell people I walked out of that room thinking he was one of the biggest morons I've ever met in my life. And if you know Louis, like, I do have my moments, man, where I think I know everything. It's a part of my fucking condition, I think. I think it's a part of my personality. I think it's part of the alcoholism. I really believe that he was a fucking dumbass and he didn't know who I was. And I could outsmart him, and why the fuck would I end up in a position like him?
Yeah.
I believe that. And like a couple months later, dude, so here's what happened. We were going to cop.
Okay, you and Mom.
Me and Mom, yep. And it was the evening, and it was snowy outside. So in the front of the house, I started the car, and so it'd warm up.
Yeah.
Headlights on. Cops know who I am. We get in the car, and we get to the end of my street, the stop sign. I look to the left, and there's a fucking cruiser sitting right there. And I knew in that moment that they had seen my car sitting out front warming up, and they knew I was about to leave.
You're going, yeah.
And they're looking to fucking pull me over. And what the plan was to trade these pills. They're called gabapentin that my mom was prescribed. We were going to trade like a ton of them for fucking like a 20 so we could get right. I was sick, by the way, like going to get the dope.
Okay, so off to a bad start already.
Yeah, so I'm already dope sick. And I get to the stop sign and I turn into the cop because I know if I turn into the cop, he's going to have to make a U-turn, which means I got a chance to get away. And I knew Mom had the pills on her. I was like panicking, right?
They're legal pills, though,
right?
right?
I
Yeah.
know, but
So
they're in a
you're good.
bag without her bottle,
okay.
and I'm fucking panicking. And I drive like 4 blocks, and before they light me up, I drive 4 blocks before I pull over.
Yeah, yeah.
So they arrest me for eluding, misdemeanor eluding.
Okay.
And they take me down to the county jail, and Mom obviously goes home.
Yeah.
The officer who arrested me, I have since met him at an event, and we have made our amends to each other.
Cool now.
I wouldn't say that, but we met and talked. And he was dead set on sending me down to the county jail. He wanted me to go to the county.
What's he think you're doing? Like he knows.
He knows I'm selling drugs. He just hadn't been able to catch me.
Are you selling at that point though?
Not really. I'm more ripping people
So
off.
just okay.
I mean, I was selling. Like the cops knew what I was doing, but at that point, nah, I'm just fucking scheming.
And were you ever mad at your mom for getting to go home?
Yeah.
That'd be the first thought in my head.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking bitch.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a way better story about that that I've never told. So I go down to the county. This is when they fucking book me in for the misdemeanor, and
downtown, right?
Yeah, this is downtown.
Okay.
Yes, they book me in. This is when they find that fucking fake bag of heroin in my coat.
Lou story.
So
okay.
I get booked in. They go in my coat. They pull out a bag that looks like heroin. It's not heroin. It's brown sugar. I'd been selling fake drugs to people.
Okay, so it's from a previous scam.
Yes, that I had forgotten about. But heroin had been in the bag previously. So they fucking charged me with possession and conveyance, 2 felonies.
Wow.
On top of my misdemeanor, but the felonies got dismissed for future indictment because they have to test the drugs, which came back positive for heroin because there was heroin in the bag.
So it's just residue on the bag.
Exactly. I got out I think I got bonded out. Dad or my sister helped me out that time.
Dang, okay.
Only time I got bonded out. And I went right back to the same shit, right? Right back to the same shit. Then I started like my whole little like shoplifting fucking spree. Which, the age old go to fucking Home Depot, steal tools, then return it without a receipt.
Machine? Like
they would have the machine
at
Giant Eagle, and you could put it in. They'd give you 50% or 60%. There was one time I had a warrant out for my arrest. My buddy had a warrant out for his arrest, and my mom was driving. Okay. And what we were doing is we were hitting all these Walgreens for Walking Dead action figures. Oh. And you might say to yourself, well, why that?
Yeah, that's a weird
that's very specific.
Genre.
My drug dealer had this like flea market stand, and he asked me for them.
Okay, so
and Walgreens is sweet because there's no fucking loss prevention.
Yeah.
So like we would just hit Walgreens all around Columbus, load the car up with fucking Walking Dead action figures.
Are these like Funko Pops or what are they?
No,
Just
they were like real
legitimate
deal fucking action figures.
Okay.
And so we get to this last Walgreens. We have a fucking ton of stolen shit in the car. And my buddy's like, yo, like let me run into CVS across the street. This is off of West Broad. There was a Walgreens and a CVS by Lincoln Park, I want to say. And I was like, all right, fucking hurry up. We just stole shit from the Walgreens right next door.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in the car waiting for his dumb ass to come out of CVS. and the fucking sheriffs pull up behind us and block us in. I have a warrant. I know I'm going to jail.
You're done for.
My buddy's going to jail. He comes out, and they got us in cuffs. He gets grabbed. Mom goes to jail, too, for complicity.
Okay, so what do they pull behind you?
Petty theft.
Okay, so they know, like, you've stolen stuff. This is the car.
The car was full of stolen
Dead.
merchandise.
You kind of feel gay having a car full of Walking Dead action
Yeah, it's
figures.
a really embarrassing position to be in.
It's like, this is what you stole.
There's no way to explain your way out of it. So all three of us went to jail together. And I remember when we went to court the next day, I saw my mom. My mom was like in the little holding cell, like a couple down from me. And she like went into the courtroom and got an OR and like came back and was like,
so you're like, cool.
I'm like, fuck yeah. All right, sweet. I got petty shit. And I go in. Nope. I'm fucking staying. They give me a bond.
What's your bond at?
I don't remember. It was too much to pay.
Okay.
You know, I think fucking $1,000 would have been too much to pay.
Which might have been, might as well have been $1 million.
Yeah. So it didn't really matter. I was stuck, and I remember
you're full blown addict now.
Yeah.
Mom,
I'm
friend,
fucking
everybody's
friend got out
fucked.
too. His mom bailed him out.
Wow.
So I'm left, and I'm like calling. I'm like, are you guys gonna fucking get me out of jail, or what's the fucking deal here? And I remember like I'd call my mom on the jail phone, and I could like tell she was high. And she would like come to visits fucked up, like nodding out in the fucking visit and shit. And I'm sitting there like, am I supposed to get better or like what's the plan?
Yeah.
Eventually time served, whatever.
How
I
long
get out.
were you in there? What was the total?
Like 2 months.
Oh, that's still a long time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but it's it's not like a prison sentence.
No.
But in that county jail, it's
and like when you're just thinking about heroin all day.
So yeah, like that was one of the times where, me and mom went to jail together. She went home, kept doing what she was doing, and just left my ass.
You never yelled at her like for coming in fucked up? Like, Mom, come on, like I'd have been a little salty.
Yeah, I mean it was frustrating because it was like, bitch, I'm sick.
Get me out of here.
Like, get me the fuck out of here.
Talk, Dad. Get me the fuck out of here.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
Like, can we? Well, I mean, and then my best friend too. Like, dog. Well, fuck you guys, man. But that's what it is. That's the world when you're fucking living it. And dude. So it was more of the same. It was more of the same. I remember another time with my mom. This was before we moved from Grandview. So my dad was diabetic, and that meant clean needles galore,
all the time.
Galore. And I had shifted to IV drug use. My mom hadn't yet. And the day finally came where there wasn't enough dope for me and her, for her to, snort and me to shoot.
Yeah.
She had to shoot it. And, she kind of looked at me and...
Just kind of understood.
I kind of looked at her and, you want me to? And I started to inject my mother with heroin.
How's it do? You guys go half skis on it? Like you give her half, fill her rig
What
up?
do you think?
You guys shared it, obviously.
Yeah, but what do you think I would try to do?
You would obviously like
get more every time.
Water her shit down.
She didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I'd fucking water her shit down, load my rig up, but I'd still shoot her up with heroin.
Yeah.
There was one time she overdosed.
Like as you're shooting her up.
I shot her up and she overdosed, and I knew immediately it was bad.
And what's it look like?
She got like kind of, her lips got purple, and she kind of just like started to fall asleep.
Is it like out of nowhere? Like
no, it was like maybe like 3 minutes. So like I hit her.
She's good.
She's good, and then you can tell it's like rocking her.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I gotta sit down, right? And then like the nod off, and then the lips blew, and then the face blew.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I run up, Dad.
I was like, does Dad know what's going on at this point, or he just like outmanned?
I don't know how to answer that question because I never really fucking asked him. I know he knew. He's not dumb.
Yeah.
Me and Mom would go down in the basement a lot.
Like Lou and Mom take a lot of car trips together.
Yeah. So like he knew what was going on. But I remember I ran upstairs and I was like, Dad, Mom's overdosing. I'm calling the fucking police. So I call 911. They come. Of course, it's not just the ambulance.
No, the cops come.
The cops come too because it's fucking me. They come in. I hide I remember I was like in the backyard, like throwing shit into bushes, like trying to hide everything I could. They come in. They fucking Narcan her, bring her back. the cops ended up finding a spoon, and they charged her with paraphernalia.
Like with residue in the spoon?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was a misdemeanor. And I got a call from that same officer.
The one that
arrested
from before,
me.
okay.
And he said, Louis, if you'd be willing to come in and talk to me at the station, we might be able to make these charges disappear from your mother's record. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's a fucking misdemeanor, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
for a
Mom's left
spoon.
me in jail
Oh,
plenty
bailed
of
on-
fucking times. And so, like, I never went to the station, but he called me back and he's like, listen, if you'll wear a wire, like, I'll make those charges disappear.
So he's wanting you to do a buy.
He wanted me to do a fucking buy from this other guy in Grandview that was selling heroin, and I just ghosted him.
Did you ever buy from the guy he wanted?
Yeah.
Okay, so
He
you
knew.
know him. Okay.
They knew the whole network. I mean, there was
Okay.
only a couple of us.
And this is Grandview Police? Okay.
Yeah. And so, like, it was just another one of those situations where, like, I don't think there's many people that can say, yeah, I shot my mom up with heroin, she overdosed, and then
went to jail.
And then right, and then the police asked me to wear a wire after they charge her with paraphernalia. Like, that's fucking insane.
That is insane.
It's
yeah.
insane. But, like, it became normal for me and Mom. And once we got out to the west side, dude, it just got worse. There would be days where Mom would lay in bed and, like, she'd be like, are you going to go out and get shit?
Yeah.
So
what's the deal? Who's buying? Like, how does that work?
So my dad would get a Social Security check once a month.
Okay.
And she would be able to peel like $200 or $300 off of that.
Okay.
And then the rest of the time, it was
It's
up to
up to
me
you.
to figure it out.
Shit.
It's like I'd go out and steal, I'd get dope, I'd come back. She would just sleep. I don't know how she'd do it. And then I'd come back and be like, yeah, hey, like, here you go.
And you never thought about, like, yeah, fuck you. I'm doing all this work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the time. All the time. Like, there would be days where I would be fucking livid. Like, Mom, what the fuck? I'm fucking stealing shit for you.
And you're just sitting here sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No fucks given. That's what.
So did Mom ever get involved in the hustles?
No.
Never
She
did
would
hustle?
drive.
Yeah,
She would, like, drive to the Walmart or the Meijer while I would go
Or-
in and steal, and then she'd be the getaway car. But, like, it's not like a big
Yeah, she's
crime.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, like, and that was just my life. It was just
And
me
then
and
what's
Mom.
family dynamics at home like? So you and Mom
Yeah.
getting high, Dad's like
Dad's upstairs.
Fucking idiots.
Just, yeah, I mean, Dad is livid, doesn't know what to do. My sister eventually moves out. She was like the golden child for a while. She got a 4.0 GPA,
Yeah,
graduated, got a job, got a place. I was the fuck up. And, Dad just put up with it. And I don't have an answer, and I kind of wish that I had asked him. I had plenty of time.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to forget about it.
Yeah, like brush it under the rug and
Move on. Like, hey, I'm sober now. Mom's gone. That sucks. But I never asked him, like, what do you think when we go in the basement?
what were you doing while
I'd love to know.
the chaos was going on around you?
I would love to know. And yeah, dude, it was fucked up. It was fucked up. One more mom story that I've never told. So I mentioned how I was shooting her up with heroin, whatever, and the time came now where there was not enough for both of us. If we split it, we might get well.
Yeah, but we're not going to feel
We're not going to get high.
Yeah.
And so I, like, loaded her rig up, and
And she's not watching you while you're doing it?
kind of, but, like, she didn't really know.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
she kind of knew, but didn't really know. And I loaded her rig up, and instead of, like, loading it up halfway so I could load mine up halfway,
Yeah.
I pulled the whole fucking thing.
Okay.
I capped it, and I ran.
Oh, you
I
took
ran.
off with Mom's dope.
I ran with all the dope.
Okay.
So I run fucking out the front door. I run into the woods. She's chasing me, by the way. My mother is chasing me. I have a syringe loaded with heroin in my hand. She's chasing me. I go, like, into the woods. I remember I, like, pulled my cell phone out and, like, turned the flashlight on.
Oh, it's dark time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm, like, trying to fucking hit myself
Hit
with this
on the
rig
run.
while Mom's, like, chasing me through the fucking woods.
Oh, that's
like-
so good.
And, like, obviously, dude, there's a reason I haven't told these stories, I mean, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Immensely fucked up. but it's the truth.
And it makes sense too. Like,
Yeah, and dude, the thing is, when I get in front of a crowd and I talk about using with my mom, that's when I really know how often it happens, because I see a lot of people's like nod their heads and like, yep, been there. But yeah, dude, that was my life for a very long time. In and out of jail, fucking crazy shit with my mom.
So do you hit while you're in the woods running?
Yeah.
And then what's the altercation between you and mom look like? Is she swinging or what do you tell her?
Yeah, she put hands on me.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet, bud.
And I don't blame her.
Yeah, I don't blame her either. Yeah.
It wasn't like a fucking full-fledged fight.
No, just slapping the shit
But
out
it
of you.
was like, yeah,
how
like,
could you?
Yeah. Because, I mean, dude, think about how devastating that would be. That you're about to get well.
Yep, it's right there.
It's right there, loaded up.
You,
you're seconds away, and now it's gone.
Gone. Now you gotta go chase this fucker while you're sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now once I use it, so yeah, she put hands on me numerous times. Actually, I don't know if my sister knows that, but she does now. So, and yeah, dude, that's how life went. And eventually, Dad said, "Fuck you, get out." And I wish he had done it sooner.
To you.
To me.
Mom's still there.
Yeah, Mom's still there. They're married, by the way, through the whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah. That's what I was about to ask. Even till when she died, they were married, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And so Dad kicked me out, and I finally found myself homeless. And, you know, I always talk about the story with the sleeping bag in the rain and that first night being homeless and how I was so shell-shocked at how my life had fucking taken this turn and I had ended up there. But, like, dude, there was, like, this weird freedom in being homeless that I really enjoyed. I was only homeless for, like, a month, so it's not like I bared the cold winters.
On the streets and
the woods.
Okay.
Like, in the woods. Sleeping bag, shit like that.
Yeah.
No tent. But I'd like go up to the fucking pilot station on Wilson and, you know, hey, can I wash your fucking windows for $5?
Yeah.
And then you'd find the guy who's like, here, bro, here's $100.
Yep.
Please, God, go get a hotel room. And of course,
and then like
you
you're not going to the fucking Night's Inn.
No,
right?
You're oh yeah, for sure, man. I'm gonna go
on
do it
the way
right now. And then as soon as they leave, you're finding someone's phone to use to call the dope boy and tell him you got a hundo.
I always loved the like having to use somebody else's cell phone to call your dope
The
boy,
worst
like
shit.
Like a stranger's phone. Like, hey, and
You know
then
how bold that
and then
is?
you got to talk code like to the drug dealer without hipping these people to what you're doing.
I can't imagine just walking up to someone now and asking to use their phone.
Sketchy as fuck.
But like the way I looked, back then, like, hey, bro,
I got a call about my job tomorrow.
Fuck you! I can't believe people even let me, but they did.
Insane, yeah.
They did, and they'd give you food.
Yep.
And they'd give you money.
And cigarettes.
I do that now. I'll fucking, if I pull up on a guy in the corner and I know he's strung out, I'll be like, what are you on?
Yeah.
Nothing. What are you on? And I'll like hold like a $5, like what, tell me the truth and I'll give you the money. Right? Because like we both know that's the first step in getting better.
Yeah.
And so like I just want that person
just
to admit to some random fucking guy on the street, you're strung out.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the money. People help, dude. And eventually those indictments came back from the brown sugar.
The brown sugar bag.
And I got picked up by the marshals.
That just seems like an excessive
amount
of waste of
unmarked
taxpayer
cars.
money.
Unmarked fucking cars.
For a residue bag.
I'll never fucking forget, dude. I'm just walking down these like back roads on the west side. And I watched, it was like a Mazda sedan pull up, but it had limo tent windows. And I just knew what it was. And, they hopped out and did their whole fucking hands in the air.
How do they know it's you? Like, how do they just
you,
know? Like...
You know what's hilarious about you asking me that question? When I got in the back of the cop car, I asked them, I was like, how'd you guys know where to find me? They're like, you're fucking 6'4".
And
you're rail thin.
Walking up and down.
Yeah, you're not hard to find.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, it didn't take us long. And they were right. So off to jail I go again. And this time I sat for 5 months. I remember when I got there.
Oh, that's a long time.
I remember when I got there in the holding cell, I knew I was fucked. I knew, like, I was preparing for prison. That's what I thought was coming. And so, like, I'm, like, mentally preparing myself. They call it bid mode.
Yeah.
Which I don't really know how to describe what that means.
It's just kind of like becoming, what do they call it?
You turn into like a robot.
You sleep, you eat.
Your routine is the exact same
every day. Yeah, you shower, eat, sleep, play cards, repeat.
And like you sleep. I remember I would sleep at night. Or I'm sorry, I would sleep during the day,
yeah.
And then I'd be awake at night, and somehow that made the days go faster.
Somehow.
I don't know, but that's what everyone did. And jail wasn't fun for me. Like, I've got my ass beat numerous fucking times. I got my ass beat over a cup of milk one time. I spilled this guy's cup of milk, and I remember he was like, "Yo, we got to work," and I was like, "What?"
What?
It's like, what? I just, like, literally spilt milk.
And it's not even, like, real milk. It's powdered milk, right?
Yeah. So, and, like, dude just whooped my ass for a fucking cup of milk. There was a time that I initiated a fight where this guy...
What's that look like? So you're not dope sick anymore, right?
No, fuck it. I'm going to tell you my fucking big win, my big fucking moment.
Okay.
So there was this store guy, and... I didn't have any money on my books, or I had, like, missed commissary. I missed the window or something, so I had to, like, put money on, like, a $20 bill on his books to, like, get some shit from what he had in his box, right? And if you'll recall, it used to be these paper receipts they would slide under the doors.
That's like the day before.
And it was like your money came.
Yeah.
It was like a receipt, right?
Oh, yeah, that, yes.
So, like, dude was waiting for the receipt that my people had put the 20 on his books before he gave me the commissary. The receipt never came. And my people swear they put the fucking money on his books. And he was like, "Yo, I'm not paying, I'm not giving you your shit." And mind you, I'm skinny white guy from Grandview.
Yeah.
Most of the people in the tank know that. So guys start chirping me. They're like, "Yo, you just gonna let him fucking take your $20? Like, you're not gonna do anything about it?" And as I'm like sitting on my bunk, like, fucking, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
No, fuck that. Fuck this
Fuck
guy.
that guy.
He was probably in his 50s.
This is an older cat.
Hispanic. For all I know, he was cartel or fucking MS-13.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fucking know. I just know that he was the store man, and he was in his 50s. And I remember he went out and got on the phone. And the guys were like, "Yo, you should go hang his phone up and fucking get to it." And I was like, "All right." And that's what I did. I stood up off my bunk. I went out in the day room, and I fucking said, "Click."
Oh, buddy, I would love to have seen that.
Let me get my 20. And, like, the thing is, in my head, I'm like, I can beat this guy in a fight because he's, like, 50.
He's old, yeah.
And, dude, it was, like, maybe, like, a 15-second fight, and I, like, slid him with the cleanest right hook of my life.
You got him.
I got him. Put him down. He fucking, his eyeballs, I swear to God, I know I'm skinny, and I know it looks like this is not true. His fucking eye swole up. I went in his box, grabbed just my $20, and I went and I put it in my box, and that was it. And then the rest of the tank, as he was on the ground, fucking catering to his eye, goes in, takes his box, and dumps it everywhere, and the vultures are just fucking grabbing all the commissary. So, like, that was my, like, big jail win.
And then how do you, like, talk? Because, like, from going to, like, to, like, 100 miles an hour to, like, fighting this guy.
So they call it the cables.
How do you do that, like, so quickly? You know, that's a hard...
I think that, like, I'm in a setting that I'm unfamiliar with, being in jail.
Yeah.
There's guys around me that are much bigger than me and have done time, and they're kind of, I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing.
Just did it.
I just was like, all right, if this is jail etiquette, let's fucking do it. And, like, you do learn those things over the years of going to jail. But, dude, like, my record in jail and fights is I'm probably, like, 2-10. So
good.
I just gave you one of my
You're
wins.
saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
like,
you ever, like, then I'm like, I would be in fear of retaliation. Now I've got to, like, still be in the same tank with this guy.
Yeah, I remember walking by where we go? Maybe it was a visit, and I walked by his tank, and I remember he was standing in the window, and he just hits me with one of these.
So did he get pulled out after that? What happened?
No, he didn't tell.
Oh, he didn't
Which
tell.
scared me even more.
That's even worse.
Because I was like, oh, this dude might be,
he's
like...
coming back.
Or he's going to send someone, or, like, pay someone to fuck me up, and it never happened.
Man.
So whatever, I skated on that one. But I sat for 5 months after the whole homeless spree and all that, and I went to court. The judge told me, she said, these are your first felony charges, so we're going to give you probation, but if you violate, I will send you to prison for the maximum amount of time that I can.
Which is what?
I think it was 5 years
5
because
years?
I had an F3. I had the conveyance.
That's insane. Bro.
And then the F5, if you run them
Concurrently?
concurrent, then it was like 5 years or 4 years or it was long enough.
Yeah. Like, Yeah.
Like long enough for me to shit my pants. And so I went back into the fucking holding cell and I sat there and I asked my public defender for the first time. I was like, "Can you get me help? Like, can you get me treatment?" Right? It was the first time I ever asked for fucking treatment. I think I was 25 and I had been using daily since 16. It's like 9 years.
Are you legitimately want treatment, or are you just trying to get out of jail quickly?
Out of jail.
Okay.
Out of jail, and also, like, maybe there's a chance I get better.
Okay.
Right? But, like, ultimately, I just didn't want to go to prison.
Yeah.
And so I took this drug court program, which did save my life.
And that's
ultimately.
like a long term, right? That's like a 2-year.
It's like a 2-year fucking. It's like a fucking boot camp.
Like a phase up process.
Yeah. I got out on house arrest, and I played what I have now coined the drug test game.
The old drug test game.
I got out on Wednesday.
You're good.
Friday morning rolled around, and I remember I got up early that Friday for some reason, and the gears started turning in my head. I was like, it's like fucking 8 a.m. Dude gets here by 10. I get high, drink a bunch of water just once.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be gone by Monday. And so I did. I called my dealer, and he pulled up, and he was relatively quick, and he told me the shit was fire, and I didn't believe him.
Are you on the monitor, too?
Yeah,
Okay.
on the ankle monitor. I'm at this random old guy's house who, like mentored me, kind of. I don't really know how to explain it. No, like, weird shit, but he, like, took me under his wing.
Where do you meet him?
Fucking, God, it's on Broad Street. It's like a soup kitchen thing. Fuck, what's it called?
I don't know. The one where you, like, West Broad?
Yeah.
It's like
a church
Yeah,
thing.
you go in, they have donuts for the homeless people every morning at like 8:30 or something like that.
I don't remember what it was called, but I met him at like something
Okay.
like that. And what had happened was the judge had ordered that I couldn't live with my mom.
Oh man, so that's like your
So and so mom's living with dad,
that's
so
out
I
of the
can't
question.
go I can't go home. And like to the judge's credit, he was exactly fucking right in doing that. Obviously, after the stories I just told, like I go back home with mom, I'm getting high. I'm fucked. But 2 days go by after I get released. I overdose. I get out of the house and end up like falling flat on my face. The neighbors find me, blue, call the squad, have my ankle monitor on. I go to the hospital, the whole fucking overdose routine.
So your one time like beat the system game really backfired on you.
Yeah, it actually backfired immediately.
Yeah, quickly.
Within like 15 seconds. As soon as I used, it was fucking over. I overdosed and it was done.
So you made it to the front yard, right?
Yeah. Well, if I don't make it to the front yard, I die.
Yeah.
There was nobody home. So I die in the house.
In that house with the weird old guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have come home and found me dead.
Yeah.
Which would have really sucked for him and me. But whatever, go to the hospital. It's the weekend now, so like obviously I can't turn myself in until Monday. Monday rolls around. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to go to the courthouse, give my hospital papers, tell them what happened.
We're good.
I got nothing to fucking hide.
Yeah.
I can't get out of this. Turn in my papers, they arrest me. Back to jail I go for another couple weeks, and I decided I was going to get sober, but I was going to be really pissed off while I was doing it the whole time. Like, so this drug court program, they want you to like piss in a cup 5 times a week, or 4 to 5 times a week.
God.
They want you to go see your probation officer every Tuesday. You go in front of the judge every Thursday. There's phases. So
Yeah.
phase 1 is the most intensive.
That's the extreme one.
You're doing fucking outpatient treatment. You're doing counseling. You're seeing your PO. You're going in front of the judge. You're doing all this shit. And it fucking sucks. And it fucking especially sucks if you don't want to be there.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you try to work the system in a drug court program, you're going to fucking lose 9 out of 10 times.
We get a lot of systems beat there. PO,
Yeah.
judge,
Drug tests.
outpatient.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
You'll get caught eventually. And so, like, I remember I strung 6 months together, and I had, like, a better life. It was better. I was, like, still kind of a dick, and I was, like, a manager at a sub shop and all this stuff, and I was on Vivitrol at the time. so I couldn't use opiates.
Couldn't do them if you wanted to.
And, I mentioned that I was angry and doing everything begrudgingly, so I wasn't really doing any work on myself. And eventually I went back to the crack cocaine and the powder cocaine and loading it back into the needle. And I started shooting crack and coke, and then I gave them a couple dirty urines for cocaine. And that's when they threatened me with a higher level of treatment, is what they called it.
That's cute.
And that is actually, shortly after that is where I ran into you.
Yeah, that's where we come into.
In 2016.
Yeah.
So they send me to this fucking facility, and I'm just so beat the fuck down. Like, I don't know, man. You saw how I moved in there.
Yeah.
Like, I took a lot of it seriously. We joked around a lot.
A lot, yeah.
I mean, that's the only way to fucking pass the time in
Yeah.
jail, is to joke around like we did. But, I tried to take the shit fucking seriously because I just was sick and fucking tired of going to jail. And, like, dude, I'm not built for jail.
No.
I'm just not.
No.
And I don't fucking mind saying that. That's fine. Like, there's so many guys that want to be so fucking tough. And, like, oh, I did fucking X amount of years and da-da-da-da. Like, I'm not built for that shit.
We're not that guy.
I'm better off out here. I think everybody is.
So when you get sentenced to that minimum security, you're like, okay, well, I'm
going to give it, I'm going to fucking do everything the right way. And I did. There was a gentleman who helped me with my sobriety. I called him every day. You know him, Dave.
Yeah. Dirty Dave.
I went to fucking damn near every meeting. I would run the recovery meetings. You remember that? It was a quick, I think I did 5 months there, and I got out. I've been sober ever since. But for whatever reason, I was just done. I was done. And it's so interesting that we crossed paths in that place.
Yeah.
And it took you fucking...
I wasn't done after. It took me
not even close.
Many more years to...
Because, I remember when I got that job at Donato's.
Yeah.
And we went to that pizza shop.
Yeah. And
you were getting high then, weren't you?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was me, you, and fucking Dave.
And Dave,
eating pizza.
Yeah. And I think we both had job interviews or something.
Yeah, and we were celebrating.
Yeah.
But, man, I don't know. I was just done.
I want to talk about the incident I was so blessed to be a part of in CBCF.
Yeah, sure.
Probably still one of the highlights of my life. Like, Lou was a cocky little shit, right? You're a cocky little shit then. And at this minimum security, you can go out, right? You can go work. You can go to outside meetings. Yep. I can't remember if you can do family time or not, but whatever. So maybe a week or so before, you're hyping up this big date from this girl. It's like...
Yeah, I think I was going to get my ID or something.
Yeah.
Like, I was going to the BMV, but, she was allowed to pick me up.
And that's like a hot date when you're in there, right? Like, hey,
it was my girlfriend.
Me up. Yeah.
So, I'm, walking around. Yeah, I'm about to fuck this chick in the car.
At the DMV.
This is going to be sick.
Yeah. Smoke some cigarettes. Smoke some shit in.
Obviously, I leave.
You leave, right?
And I leave.
I happen to be coming back just before you, right? So we pass in the parking lot. And I see the lady. I'm like, oh, okay, Lou, right? Look at him. And then I walk in, and I go through the pat-down process, and I'm in the waiting area to be let back. And then, God opens a window, a literal window for me, right? And I look out, and I can oversee the parking lot and the green grass. And then I just see Lou, walk out of the car just looking... so defeated.
Just dejected.
So defeated. So, we were pretty good friends at this time in there. And
we were close.
Yeah, we were close. We were homies from day one. And then, just kind of see you walk in my peripheral to, till you're out of frame of the window and you come in. And,
I walk into the room you're in, right?
Yeah, you walk in, you make it in. I'm like, okay, how do I want to do this two ways, right? I can be a compassionate friend, or I can be, do what I want to do, and just yeah, Lou, how was that hot date, bud? Smashing in the DMV, right?
She broke up with me.
Dumped you right there, right? And I got to witness it.
Yep. And the crazy thing is, I was she was writing me letters the whole time, and the letters started to become less personal and intimate towards the end. As we got closer to the date where she was picking me up.
You're just pen pals now.
Yeah, it was I should have known. I kind of had a feeling I was going to get broken up with, but the fact that you got to fucking watch me walk back
so good
after running his mouth
about
so fucking this chick.
And then but with your credit, right? She She dumped you, but like still gave you commissary money.
And listen, shout out to her.
Yeah.
She knows who she is. Shout out to her. She broke up with me, but then still came in and put $50 fucking dollars on my books. That was fucking gangster.
That's a good woman right there.
I was cool with that. And you know what? Even though I stayed sober since then, it's probably for the best that she got the fuck away from me.
Oh yeah.
So I think
her
we
life.
can both agree on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I'll tell you like about some of the fucking crazy ass shit that happened after I got sober, because there is crazy ass shit there too. I remember thinking to myself, you know, I'm a very logical, analytical kind of guy. I'm always doing too much. I'm always trying to fucking, you know, work this, work that, whatever. And I remember thinking like, what if I could like make the judges and the probation officers and like all these people like allies? Like everyone always makes them enemies.
Yeah.
What if I befriend them? Like that could benefit me. Like it wouldn't hurt to have a judge fucking back me up on
phone list.
Yeah. And so like I remember I fucking got this job at Donato's Pizza and I couldn't be a manager because of my fucking felonies, and that was bullshit. Like the fact that I couldn't manage a pizza shop because of felonies,
insane, right?
It's insane to me. You know, and then I ended up like running food at this nice restaurant. I was like the bus boy, like the bitch. And then I worked my way up to the server, and then I became like one of the best servers, and then COVID happened. And like I was making good money, dude. I was making like fucking $300-400 a night, work 5 nights a week. Like that's not
That's
bad.
great money
for a felon.
For a guy
like
just fresh
and
out
I'm
of
like
jail.
waiting on like Cameron Mitchell fucking at some of these restaurants. Like fucking Urban Meyer came into one. Like, and so I'm just like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like it's not perfect, but you know I'm cool with it, and it's a fucking better life than what I was living. And I walk into work one night and they fucking close restaurants. The governor orders that my job no longer exists.
Yeah, you're shut down.
And I already know what it's like to fucking try and get a job with felonies. And I fucking was like, yo, I'm going to go back to that judge and see if he'll write me a reference letter. Because in my mind, a reference letter from the judge who sent me to jail is powerful.
Fucking, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what I wanted to do was I wanted to work at that correctional facility where you fucking watched me walk in dejected. And we spent 5 months together. And I went there and I applied. And shout out to the fucking former director, bro. She is so awesome. I mean, she believed in me from day one. Shout out to the, what was he? The deputy director. You know who I'm talking about. I mean, they believed in me. I ended up working at the fucking correctional facility I was locked up at, and that was crazy, dude. And I'll never forget the first day. It wasn't walking through the facility knowing I wasn't locked up there. It was the way I was looked at that took me off guard, right? Because I'm them, but they don't know it.
They don't know that.
So I'm walking through and they're like, who's this fucking skinny white kid that's, this guy's going to be a fucking
We're gonna
dick.
eat him up, yeah.
Fuck this guy. And they're looking at me, and I'm just like, God, like, it's me, dog. What the fuck?
Yeah,
like, I know you don't know me, but, like, it's me. Like, yeah, fucking, what do you mean? And, yeah, dude, I worked my way up into leadership, and I ended up running the unit I used to live on, and I managed some of the guards that worked there.
Watch you.
One of my bosses was fucking one of the guards that used to work second shift when we were there. She was my fucking direct supervisor. I worked with her. It was very unique and very cool. And like what I'll say about it is having somebody in that setting with lived experience is fucking invaluable.
Yeah.
You can de-escalate situations better. You can make people see reason better because they view you as them.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It works.
It just worked. That was crazy. I've sat on a fucking panel with the judge who sent me to jail and in Grandview. To parents, it was kind of like it was like my amends to the fucking whole community. I came back in 2018 and like hosted this event, and it was filmed, and fucking all these parents showed up, and like that was cool. You know, I don't know, dude. My journey has been fucking bizarre, and it's not over yet. You know, I lost my dad to cancer a year ago. That was tough.
Your mom died.
Yeah, my mom died when I was fucking sober of an overdose, and it wasn't an easy pill to swallow. That sounds so fucked up. It kind of was an easy pill to swallow because I figured eventually.
And like, in a fucked up way, her fight's over, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be dope sick anymore.
And then, dude, like that shit like that with her mom killing herself, it ate her up. She used to talk about, I can't wait to see my mom again. Like, dude, it was painful to watch. And so for that reason, and knowing that it was the disease of addiction that killed her, and I understand the disease of addiction, it made it kind of
It's a lot easier to...
than Dad, who literally went through hell with me, my mom, and my sister, watching him get hit with cancer at the fucking back end. Did
it take him quick, or I can't remember?
It was a couple years.
Okay.
He just kind of thugged it out, just fucking... I mean, I'd go over there and be like, I'm good. He'd be ripping fucking cigarettes on the... I'd buy him packs of cigarettes. Like, that's what he wanted. Like, I'm not going to fucking take that from you.
Tell him
and I, hang out with him and whatever. I've gone on trips, fucking Vegas, Bahamas. I've traveled for the podcast. I mean, dude, call me fucking crazy, but I think that we can accomplish anything when we get sober. And, I'm grateful to be where I'm at today. I think I'm very lucky. My sister is a part of that drug court program now that I was once in.
She's going through it?
She's going through it right now. Boy. So she got arrested. She was actually ballsier than me. They were stealing like TVs and shit out of the back of Walmart. It's like I was a pussy.
Yeah, you're going for
I'm going for the little shit.
In the front of the store.
She's going in the back of the Walmart stealing the television. She got popped for that. And I remember she was sitting in jail and she called me. And I was like, all right, Colleen, I'm going to take care of something for you. Sit tight. And I called the fucking judge and ended up getting her into that drug court program. He did that favor for me. And I remember she had to sit like an extra 2 months in the workhouse waiting to go to the... She was so fucking pissed. Like, Louis, I was going to get out, and I had to sit and wait for this bullshit drug court program because of you. But, like, the fact that I could behind the scenes...
Call anybody.
And, like, pull strings like that to, like, potentially save my sister's life, it's pretty cool.
So what's her deal? Is she still in it now?
Yeah.
What are her thoughts now?
So...
Fast forward a little bit of time.
I think that she's slipped up, which I did too. I slipped up in the program a bunch of times. I think she's at the stage now where it's like, God, is this ever going to end? And like, where is the fucking miracle at the end of the tunnel that everybody talks about? I think she's still waiting for that, and I hope she gets that. But yeah, dude, it's a unique. I shouldn't say unique, but it's a different.
Something you could have never planned for yourself.
No, dude. Yeah. No. And even what we're doing now with the podcast it's special,
Yeah.
And I've talked about it publicly on social media. Like, I've faced rejection over and over and over and over for the dumbest shit, because people label me a certain way. And so, like, to be able to create our own thing and like help people in our own way, like the dude we just had on.
Yeah.
He was so fucking, like, it was so cool. He got to tell a story.
And, like, what a cool job we get to have for, like, we just get to sit and listen to cool stories all day. Like, we are lucky as shit, And
then the message goes out to the world.
Yeah.
So.
Again, like, we can't even fathom what's going on that we don't see, you know? We just see the payoffs of it. And, yeah, so you never know, man.
No. And to, anybody out there struggling, it can be done.
It can be done.
I mean, to me, you're much larger proof than I am.
And, like, you just do what they tell you to do, right? I always tell the guys that I work with, like, if somebody gave you a book that said, like, you can make $1 million, all you have to do is, like, these specific things right here. I'm reading that book 10 fucking times.
You're reading it all day.
I'm taking notes. So why wouldn't I do that to save my own life,
I know. It's fucked up, dude. And
yeah.
I think that, like, the stories that I shared this time with my mom really paint a picture of just how fucking sick it can get, and how selfish you can be. And dude, there is like this dark underworld that people, especially in communities like the one I'm in now, where we're sitting in Grandview, they don't know about a trap house.
Yeah.
With fucking
sit next to your mom in a trap house, fucking scoring dope.
Dude. People fucking shooting up. Like it's sick. But there's a way out, and I'm glad that we found it.
We made it. Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks, buddy. Yeah,
it was different.
An absolute honor, buddy.
It was different. So.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
You want a kiss or hug? Anything?
I'll hug.
Oh, can we get that on film? They did that. Come over, though. Get over here. Get over here, big guy. Bring it in.